Posted by Kino144178am. The a hole for canceling my sister's entire wedding after they disinvited me, kept my $12,000 deposit, and I found out she opened a credit card in my name without asking. My sister's maid of honor called me a financial ATM with feelings, and honestly, she wasn't wrong. That's exactly what my family turned me into, and I let them do it for years before I finally stopped. Here's what happened. My sister got engaged last December. The moment she announced it, my mom called me, not to share the news, but to ask how much I could contribute. Not, "Are you happy for her?" Not, "Can you believe it?" Just, "We're thinking the venue alone will run about $40,000. Your father and I can cover half. Can you do the rest?" I said yes. I don't know why I always say yes with this family, but I did. Over the next 4 months, I handled deposits, coordinated with vendors, reviewed contracts, and signed off on everything. My name was on half the paperwork. My credit card was attached to most of the bookings. My sister would text me things like the florist said they need a decision by Friday and I would handle it. Always me. She was busy being the bride. My mom was busy being the mother of the bride. And I was busy being the person who made it all work. I was not invited to a single planning lunch. Not one. I told myself that was fine. I wasn't doing it for the credit. Then in March, 2 months before the wedding, I found out my sister had added me to a credit account I never agreed to. She used my social security number, which she got from a shared family document years ago, to open a store card and charge about $6,000 in wedding decor. My mom knew. My dad knew. My brother-in-law knew. They all just figured I wouldn't check. I found out because a collections notice showed up at my apartment for a card I never heard of. When I called my mom, she went quiet for a second and then said, "It was just easier. You would have said yes anyway." I told her that wasn't the point. She said I was being dramatic. I asked to speak to my sister. My sister told me she was stressed and that I was making everything about myself right before her wedding. I sat with that for about 2 days and kept going back and forth. These were my family. This was my sister's wedding. Maybe I should just let it go. Then my mom sent me a text. No call, just a text. We all talked. "You've been difficult and honestly a little toxic lately. We think it's best if you're not at the wedding." We all agreed. "You're not welcome." I read it maybe 10 times. I kept thinking I was misreading it. I wasn't. I called my mom. She didn't pick up. I called my sister. She sent me to voicemail. I texted my brother-in-law asking what was going on and he replied, "It's her day. Please respect that." So, I did the only thing I could think of doing. I sat down with every contract, every booking confirmation, and every receipt I had from the last 4 months. Then I started making calls. The venue, the caterer, the photographer, the florist, every vendor where I was listed as a paying party or primary contact. I told them I needed to cancel my portion or remove my card from the account. Some of them let me do it immediately. Some required documentation. I sent whatever they needed. The venue deposit I had paid, $12,000, was partially refundable under the contract terms because we were still outside the 60-day window. I got most of it back. Then I filed a report with the credit bureau and my bank about the fraudulent account my sister had opened in my name. I have the paperwork. I have the social security usage trail. My bank flagged it immediately. My mom called me 4 hours after I started canceling things. She was screaming before I even said hello. "What did you do?" "The venue just called. The caterer called. Do you know what you've done?" I said, "You told me I wasn't welcome." She said, "That doesn't mean you destroy everything." I said, "I didn't destroy anything. I just stopped paying for a wedding I'm not allowed to attend." She hung up. My sister texted me 20 minutes later. The message was long. It started with, "I can't believe you," and ended with, "You've ruined my life." There was a lot in between, but it was mostly her describing how selfish I am. My brother texted me separately and said, "That was cold. He has never once asked me how I was doing this entire time." Right now, my family is not speaking to me. The wedding is 6 weeks out, and from what I hear through my cousin, they are scrambling. My dad left me a voicemail saying I've embarrassed the family and that I need to think about what kind of person I want to be. I've been thinking about that a lot actually. I spent 4 months doing real, unglamorous, time-consuming work for a wedding I was eventually uninvited from, while my family was also committing credit fraud in my name behind my back. And when I pulled out, I became the villain. In families like mine, the person who gives the most is never seen as generous. They're just seen as someone who can be counted on to absorb the cost. And the moment they stop absorbing it, they become the problem. I don't regret filing the fraud report. I don't regret canceling the vendors. But I do wonder sometimes if I should have just walked away quietly and let them have their day, because now there's no version of this where my family ever sees me as anything but the person who ruined the wedding. My question is, when does protecting yourself stop being justified and start being something you have to live with anyway? Comment your thoughts. Thanks for watching.